We worked really hard, so I'm not surprised we've been a little lucky.
The place where the water data are really welling up like crazy is on the plains of Meridiani, in the landing area of opportunity, where, for once in the history of planetary exploration, everything went absolutely right. And then some.
Well, we bounced and bounced and bounced across the plains. We've actually reconstructed with images exactly where we bounced. We know where the heat shield went, where the parachute and the backshell are. We can even tell the fire marks for the thrusters on the final descent. We can see all that. We can see the bounce marks, and we bounced right across the plains. We hit Bounce Rock and probably broke a piece of it, and then bounced into Eagle Crater. We almost lipped out the other side, and then we bounced back in, almost lipped out the other side, and then we bounced in and back, and it was like ding, da, da, ding, da, da, ding, da, da, ding, before coming to rest at the bottom.
Well, of course, we planned all of that. No. I know it really has been spectacular, and it's a combination of great planning by the engineers for contingencies and backup systems, and some dumb luck.
There was an element of luck in many aspects of these rovers, and you roll the dice when you land on the surface and you're not sure exactly which rocks you'll hit or where you'll stop.
We have had some good fortune, but to a certain extent, you make your own luck. You create your own luck by building a system that is robust, that is highly capable, that can take advantage of a fortunate situation when it comes across one. You know, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And we worked really hard, so I'm not surprised we've been a little lucky.
A lot of that hard work went into balancing what the scientists wanted to do with the realities of what the engineers needed to do to get a mission that could travel to and then live long and prosper on the harsh, dry, cold surface of Mars.
Once it was obvious that everything, parachutes and airbags and all this incredible complex stuff actually worked, there was a moment where several of us on the science team were kind of standing around just enjoying bathing in the moment, and then we got a look from, it might have been Rob Manning on the engineering team, just kind of turned and looked, and it was like, you're on. It's your turn. You know, bring it, what can you do? We gave it to you, it's ready, you know, and then it was like, oh, wow, you know, the camera better power up, you know, we didn't leave the lens caps on, you know, that kind of thing. And so the stress kind of transferred to us, you know, will the sights be scientifically interesting like we claimed they were going to be?
To investigate those sites, each of the rovers carries 3 different types of cameras for science as well as navigation. 3 different types of spectrometers to sense the local chemistry both up close and at some distance. And a combination brushing and grinding tool to expose fresh surfaces so the spectrometers can sniff them and the cameras can snap them. Each Martian day, it's called a sol, as the Romans called the sun, is about 39.5 minutes longer than an Earth day. And from the first sol that Opportunity powered up her systems at Meridiani, the science team found themselves gripped by a landscape that read like a thrilling mystery novel.
The first 60 sols, the first 2 months at Eagle Crater, is something I think all of us are going to remember for the rest of our lives.
It was like we had all these clues, and we kept trying to follow them.
It was like a well-written mystery novel in that we initially, you know, had some clues we thought as to what was going on, and then we would get other clues would show up and send us off in a different direction, and there were red herrings, and there were distractions, and there were phenomenal discoveries, and all those things happened.
You felt lucky that there were all of these interesting clues.
One of the most striking things that we saw very early on was this very fine layering in the rocks of the outcrop. That's an example of the kinds of geologic features that we wouldn't have been able to detect with the lower resolution of the cameras on Viking or Pathfinder.
It certainly felt good when we had the 2 big press conferences announcing these rocks at Meridiani were soaked in liquid water, and these rocks were then, we figured out, were deposited in flowing, salty liquid water.
You can see that these crossbeds, or what geologists call them, these features that intersect each other at angles, that are very diagnostic, either in wind or water, of wave action.
And, you know, this seems like the kind of record that implies there was an environment where life could have thrived. And these are the kind of rocks where you might preserve evidence of fossil evidence of life. So we really hit the jackpot here with that rover and this landing site.